Right. Today is Monday, November 10th. It's a cold day out here in Lawrence, Kansas, and we have plenty of things to discuss after week 10 of the NFL season. We're going to take a look at some of the leading point scorers. Brian Daboll was fired earlier today, and then we're also going to talk about some guys who we think have officially broken out and some guys who are maybe we should still hold off on them a little bit. But one of those guys that I think we can officially say has arrived is Treveyon Henderson for the New England Patriots, who are a serious contender. It says he's injured, but I think he's fine. He's a difference maker. That is absolutely correct, Bowen. 14 carries, averaged 10.5. He had that 60. Does it say what it was? It was a huge run. I think it was like 68 yards, 68-yard touchdown. So he averaged 10.5 yards per carry. Had the 7.5 yards per carry in week 8. But Tampa's a good football team. They're another great offense. And as crazy as it sounds, we're talking about the New England Patriots offense after what we saw 2 years ago. But yeah, they had a great day. And Ramondre Stevenson officially broke out, in my opinion. Back-to-back games, he's had over 10 carries, and he's performed decently well in both. Of course, that Atlanta defense is not the same as that Tampa Bay defense, and that Atlanta defense had a great showing over in Germany this weekend. But yeah, 147 yards, reception, and 2 touchdowns, 28 fantasy points. Ramondre Stevenson is officially here, or not Ramondre Stevenson, Treveyon Henderson is officially here. If you haven't sold Ramondre Stevenson yet, maybe consider selling him. He's been an okay redraft guy, but he's not a guy that is a guy that you want to really own, other than like handcuff purposes in fantasy football. So big week for Treveyon Henderson. And I think with Ramondre Stevenson dealing with some injuries and things, I think that his role is going to continue to increase. And as his role increases and Vrabes continues to trust him, the sky's the limit for this guy. And I've said this for a while. I think Ramondre Stevenson is a cut candidate. I don't think they want to pay that full contract. I think that either at the end of this year or next year potentially, they're going to cut him. They did sign him to that deal at the beginning of last season, which was pretty crazy. So he's going to be finishing up the second year of that deal. I don't see why they wouldn't cut him, save some money, and go invest the money in other positions, because you've got a guy like Treveyon Henderson who can do it, who can be that guy for you. So Treveyon Henderson joins the elite tier of running backs like Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, and Jahmyr Gibbs. He's joining them as one of the top scorers this week. So we've got Jonathan Taylor, who had a generational game. He's continuing the streak, or he's adding on to the amount of games he's had this season with 3 touchdowns. An incredible performance, 250 rushing yards, almost 300 total yards, 49 fantasy points. When we thought we couldn't get any more out of Jonathan Taylor, he does more. And I mean, it's crazy because I was looking at this the other day. He was all the way down at like running back 20, like a year or two ago. And he has just clawed his way back. He's made it back. And he is like, I think he's like the Saquon of last year. Like Saquon, he was great, but he just revitalized his career. And that's what Jonathan Taylor has done this year. Like, Jonathan Taylor is once again one of the most valuable pieces in Dynasty fantasy football. We're going to jump over to the power rankings, over to the Dynasty rankings. That's my league. I think, last time I checked, Jonathan Taylor, he's number 14, the RB3. And I just want to show you guys like where this guy was at for a while. I mean, here's that rookie year, gets drafted in May 2020, it looks like. Has a little bit of a dip, maybe. I think he was drafted in May 2020. I don't know if that's Devy rankings. That's why I'm saying. But he had that phenomenal rookie year. Maybe it was his second year. Or maybe was he injured that first year too, potentially. But look at this. He's RB2. Okay. Regardless. 2021, he's RB2 all of 2021. We get to 2021. Yep, he's up to RB1. Oh, it's really slow right now. RB1 for like the entire 2022 offseason, it looks like. Then we get over here. We have a dip in 2023. Where does he fall down to? All the way down to RB11. Preseason here, offseason, he was like RB10. And he's shot right back up to the RB3. So, Jonathan Taylor, dog. Absolute dog. And I think that Daniel Jones has definitely helped him. So, Yeah, he was 2020. He's another Wisconsin back. Melvin Gordon was a Wisconsin back, right? I need a fact check. Gordon. I'm pretty sure he was Wisconsin. Yep. Yeah, so he's come from that long line of baller Wisconsin running backs. Jonathan Taylor still tearing it up. And Devon Achane. I've seen some discussion. Should we move this guy into the elite tier with, I think right now you have, in Dynasty at least, you have your guys Gibbs and Bijan. Now, what they provide is they are do-it-all. They're going to get you a whole bunch of points every week, and they're young. Does Devon Achane deserve to be in that tier 1? You know, because, I mean, I'm going to pull up Keep Trade Cut again. I think right now, when you look at it, you've got your running back tiers. I believe it's going to be first tier is going to be, no, never mind. Okay, so tier 2 and tier 3. But I think this is overall. So here's how I would describe it. Here's what I'm going to say. In your tier 1, I think you've got Bijan and Jameer. I think those are your tier 1 guys. Then right outside of that, I'd say you have, in pretty much a 3-way tie, I'd say you have Taylor, Genty, Achane. I'd say Taylor just because his production elevates him into that tier, even though he's a little bit older. And then you've got 2 young studs, Genty, who hasn't all the hype in the world, but he hasn't fully produced. Could definitely do more. And then Achane, who has played really, really well through his 2 seasons so far. And then I believe this is his 3rd year. So you've got, I think he's knocking on the door. He's knocking on the door. He's getting ready to kick it down. That's for sure. And then just outside of that, we've still got these mainstays like Judkins and Hampton, who are also rookies and rookie ballers. And then you've got McCaffrey, who's kind of dropped a little bit, I feel like, almost. He's still inside that top 10, which is crazy, but he's dropped a little bit. Saquon definitely has dropped a little bit. But I mean, with these guys, you've got 8 seasons of experience, 7 seasons of experience. So that's what makes it tough. But another guy who I think is really interesting, ready to make a bounce back, similar to what we've seen with Jonathan Taylor, is I think Breece Hall is going to be the next guy to do it. So that is definitely something exciting to watch. I think Breece Hall, I don't know if he's going to stay in New York. I think he's going to be gone. Plus, Garrett Wilson is going to be out for more weeks. So I think 4 more weeks. So Breece Hall is going to be getting more touches with Garrett Wilson hurt. That's just how things go. And Justin Fields already dumps the ball off at a very high rate to begin with. So I think Breece Hall might see an increase in touches as we get down the stretch, as people are making playoff pushes in their fantasy leagues. Davis Mills was a big surprise this week. Went out, came back against the Jaguars. What a game. Played incredible. That I think I read he has 6 starts. I might have read this in the Reddit community. He has 6 career wins and as a starter, and 3 of them are against the Jaguars. So Davis Mills does it again, what he knows, and that's beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. Put up 27.68 points. I think this guy is starting quality. It's just a matter of where. I don't think it's going to be in Houston because CJ Stroud is a great quarterback. But I think Davis Mills could definitely get a starting job. Maybe as like a bridge quarterback. Give him a chance, you know? Give him a chance, kind of like how we saw the Vikings do with Sam Darnold. So Davis Mills, let's see if he can cook something up. Maybe pull a career out of this. Jackson Dart, things are going to be changing there as Brian Daboll was fired as the head coach in New York. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for Jackson Dart because, I mean, if you look at his performance, he's been doing pretty well. 19, 15, 23, 28, 19, 27, 26. Elite return on value from where this guy was being drafted in Dynasty startups. So Jackson Dart definitely going to be an interesting situation as they move on from Daboll. And I don't really know who they're going to pursue. I mean, Joe Brady is like the obvious answer, or like that's the easy answer, but we'll see. And I like Daboll. I think Daboll is going to have a good. I think he's gonna settle back in as a coordinator somewhere, and he's going to be just fine. So Jackson Dart continues to perform well. Matthew Stafford continues to perform well. Caleb Williams had another good week after his 38-point outing, and I think he had a rushing touchdown in there. That's what might have boosted those numbers. Yeah, he had a rushing touchdown, but he is performing well on the ground. Drake London had another good week as he's settling back in off injury. And Egbuka has kind of bounced back a little bit. We saw a little bit of a slow stretch here and then the bye, but Egbuka is back. And it feels good. Jalen Naylor. Vikings, J.J. McCarthy had a really rough day passing, and it feels like anytime he was ever doing anything as a passer, it was going to Jalen Naylor. Justin Jefferson had a big off day, so Jalen Naylor definitely picked up the slack where it was in the rest of the offense. And I just want to check in on our guy, Devin Neal, because I know he had a decent day. He had 6 fantasy points. Let's check this out. So he's increased. His touches are increasing. He had 4 carries for 22 yards and 3 receptions for 9 yards. So Devin Neal, his role is increasing. Definitely going to be something exciting to watch down the stretch. So now, what was I going to look at? There was something I really wanted to talk about. I don't know if I can remember, but either way, I wanted to come in here and I wanted to take a look at the Reddit and see if there's anything that we can talk about, discuss. Okay, Brian Daboll has been fired. Let's see what the thread looks like here. Yeah, no, 100%. If Neighbors and Scadwood hadn't gotten injured and Dart hadn't been dealing with what he's doing, I mean, it still is a really, really exciting offense. I'm looking at it and I'm just getting fired up for next year. You're getting Scadaboo back, you're getting Neighbors back, and I think Scadaboo might return this season still. But you're going in and you have that, and I think also having a full off season to really get acclimated with your guys is going to really, really help Dart. So it just comes down to who they get as the head coach, and I think Joe Brady is probably my guy right now. But yeah, I mean, late game decision making is definitely what went into the Brian Daboll firing, and plus, like, we're seeing Jackson. I mean, here's what I think definitely went into the firing of Daboll. If Daniel Jones is doing this in Indianapolis, the common denominator, because I mean Jackson Dart is still good, and we saw Daniel Jones look really good as a rookie in New York with Brian Daboll actually, and we've seen him play great. He earned an extension, but if Daniel Jones is playing this good in Indianapolis, as a shot caller in New York, you got to be kind of worried. You got to be kind of thinking, okay, Jackson Dart looks really promising right now. What is preventing Daboll from being a detriment to Jackson Dart's development as he were to Daniel Jones? Like, how do we know that Daboll is going to get the most out of this kid? So I think that's probably a big influencing factor in why they separated. And of course, they weren't winning either. So the easy answer for why a coach is getting fired, they're not winning. But I think that a lot of the decisions that the New York Giants need to be making and will be making are going to be made with Jackson Dart in mind. So that's definitely going to be an interesting quarterback or coaching pursuit. So let's see. Who would be the head coach candidates for Jackson Dart? 15 top candidates for Jackson Dart. Through 15 top candidates to replace Brian Daboll as Giants head coach. Let's see. Let's just have a discussion here. Great. Why it's a great job. You've got dudes. Yeah, you've got Abdul Carter, Thibodeau on defense. You've got Andrew Thomas, who's a baller. I really like him. Malik Neighbors, Scadaboo. You've got all the pieces. Okay. First, they've got Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator from the Denver Broncos. I could definitely see this just considering those pieces they've got on defense and how good that defense has looked in Denver. That'd be fun. Grandson of the great Don Shula, Chris Shula, who's also been doing some crazy stuff with that defense in Los Angeles, and Brian Flores as well, who's been kind of in discussions for the past couple of seasons, but after that weird thing that went down with the Dolphins, I think that might be what's keeping him away. I think people might want to just kind of wait for that to settle down. Marcus Freeman, I would be really interested in this. And this would also open the door for potentially some shifting at the Notre Dame program, I would say. But I don't think you'd want to leave. We're seeing a lot of D coordinators on this list. Spagnuolo, I don't know if he's going to be taking. Well, he was there as a coordinator in their Super Bowl and was an interim. But yeah, I think he's very happy. I'd say he's pretty happy in Kansas City, and I don't know if I don't know. But of course, he has ties to New York. I wasn't sure of that, so now that definitely means something. Offensive coordinator for the Broncos, Davis Webb. This is the first O coordinator we see here. So I think that, yeah, he would be the youngest head coach in NFL history at only 30, which is incredible. But yeah, this would be neat. And I think like that's another thing is you want to get a guy that you can tie your franchise to. So you want to get a coach. It's always best to get a coach and a quarterback coming in at the same time. They can be on the same timeline. And if a guy like Webb, who's only 30 years old, like that's got to be really exciting for Giants fans. So, yeah, he had his longest NFL stint with the Bills, who were he was also in the same organization with Joe Sheen, who's currently calling the shots in New York. So Antonio Pierce really didn't get much of a chance. So definitely could be in there getting an opportunity. Let's see, Kafka, former NFL quarterback. This is who is currently the interim and the play caller. Yes, will very closely be monitored, and I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of went that way. Belichick, maybe, but I don't know. Either way, I know that it's not great over there. And then Clint, this is definitely one that I'm interested in. Yeah, he's got experience with that Shanahan system, and he's the son of Gary. Spent some years in Minnesota. I think Clint would be an interesting one, but I think if they want Clint Kubiak, they're going to need the pieces offensively to surround it. If they want Jackson Dart to really reach that full potential, I think they're going to want some more pieces. I'm interested to see Joe Brady, but it is what it is. That's just kind of where I feel like he's been in like the last. He's kind of in there with like Ben Johnson, where they went through like multiple coaching carousels and didn't get a job. And eventually there's going to come a time where you just got to take it. So, and plus he wouldn't be moving too far, staying in New York, going from Buffalo to New York City. So, I don't know. That's just kind of what I was thinking, but definitely going to be exciting to watch. Let's see how Jackson Dart's. Let's see where his stock is looking. Oh, we need to turn on quarterbacks though, don't we? Quarterback 9, very young, 22 and a half years old. He's a 2003. He's about a year younger than me, which is just ridiculous to think about. And his value is rising. So I don't really think that, it's still too early to tell, but I don't think that the firing is going to have a negative impact on his value. And he's worth about, no, that's wrong. Is that like startup? Maybe, but yeah, he's worth probably an early first right now. So that's where that's sitting. But otherwise, let's watch out for AD Mitchell with Garrett Wilson going down a little bit. Saw a big bump right around here when he got the trade, about 10 spots on keep trade cut. Former early draft pick. So let's see how this goes. I'm excited. I think that he should, like, theoretically he should be getting the ball with Garrett Wilson out. It's gonna be like him, Mason Taylor, and Breece Hall. So let's see if he can cook something up. That's definitely a guy to watch. But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm sitting, where my mind is right now. So I was really excited to just kind of come on here and talk because I've just been thinking about football all weekend. I think Russell Wilson might be playing again, also with some of the weird Jackson Dart injury stuff. But yeah, that's where I'm sitting, and I'm happy that I was able to record a video and just kind of get the thoughts out. So we'll catch you tomorrow, and we'll go more in depth on a specific topic.